Good afternoon, Charles Hughes, Christina Latour. We're going to be walking a group of employees, supervisors, and managers through the proper donning and doffing of personal protective equipment. We're going to be focusing today on the Tyvek suits with proper taping and proper removal, proper sanitizing, and also how to get in and out of your truck without damaging the suits. All right, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and review when do we step up the protection for the crews. So currently what's been happening is if there's been any question, dispatch has been calling me saying, hey, this is what we have, what do you want us to do? So ultimately the goal behind that is so that no matter who the supervisor is on that particular shift, dispatch should be able to call that supervisor, give them the list of symptomology that the patient is displaying, and then make the best decision on how to prep those team members. Up to this point, we have found that the vast majority of the patients that have been being transferred have been dry, if we want to call that. No droplets, they have masks, there's no cough, they're obviously they have COVID, but there's not really the aerosolization threat that we've been looking at potentially. So ultimately that means that a crew member can wear an N95, safety glasses, face shield, gloves, and one of the blue gowns. That is adequate, that is appropriate by CDC standards. Dispatch went ahead and put together a checklist that when they get a call saying, hey, we need a patient taken from A to B, they call back, they talk to the discharging nurse or the case manager, whoever that is, and they ask, is there coughing? Is there droplet? Is there, they go through their whole list. And when they get to the end, if they've answered yes to some of those, then that's a prompt call to the supervisor to say, okay, this is what I have. So then that's when we should be looking at the fact of what's the travel distance? What's the proximity? Are we going greater than 30 minutes? Are we doing a Pontiac General to Port Huron? If we do find ourselves in that situation, that's when we truly want to start looking at, do we need to go to the Tyvek level? Now, here's the kicker. Not everybody on the shift is trained to go into PAPRs. So what we're doing today, we're going to go through the Tyvek suit, because ultimately we could go at a situation where it is Tyvek suit, face shield, safety glasses, and N95 gloves, and that just adds that added protection for any of the droplet scenarios. All right, let me remind you, only the team members that are listed on the SPRN team have been qualified to use the PAPR machines, the actual blowers. We put them through to make sure that they could tolerate it, that they could move, that they would accept that. So at no point should an employee that's not on that list be put in a PAPR hood.
This morning we went through and we started fitting all the crew members so they all have sizes for what suits they wear.
As a disclaimer, we do want to identify the fact that today's training is going to focus on an added step to what the CDC has currently recommended as far as the proper protective equipment that we should be using. The CDC currently for the COVID-19 crisis is recognizing that a face mask, safety goggles, N95 mask, and a gown with gloves are appropriate. But in cases where we recognize that there may be an increased chance of long lengthened exposures, we do recognize that we have the ability to go into a Tyvek suit, which in some cases may be considered overkill, but we do look at the fact of we want to make sure that all of our employees are protected as much as we possibly can to send them home safely. What you have to remind the employees that when they're getting in and out of the truck, that they have a very low center crotch on the suit, so they actually need to, what we call the Michael Jackson. Go ahead and pull your stuff up. So they go ahead and they pull the crotch of the suit up to them to take up that space. And then when they're getting in the truck, they're standing sideways, crotch pulled, do a step up, step up. This comes off. This can be caddy wiped. Glasses come off. They can be caddy wiped. N95 comes off. And then you're just
Let me take your hood off because your face is turning red. Are you okay? A little warm.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we made the tabs ahead of time, right, when we donned them. So now we can pull them off. I'm gonna unzip you. We're gonna do the same thing with the boots. When the crew member, when you get them out of the suit completely, you need to have them a full set of vitals, including blood pressure and temperature, because they can get overheated in the suit. Make sure that they drink at least 1 bottle of water. There are forms in the soup's office. It has everything that you need to fill out of a crew that's going in a suit. So vitals before, vitals after, and then you can make notes if they had any concerns about the call, what they wore, if they had any problems. And then it goes back because OCMCA, there's a protocol that actually states we need to have some medical paperwork following the crews in case anything happens.
Chris and I would like to take an opportunity to thank everybody who participated in today's exercise. A lot of good information was shared. We were able to take away some new ideas on improving the systems that we do have. We would like to also invite the Star Crews employees and other management staff that at any time, if you feel that you have concerns or questions, ideas, thoughts, please don't hesitate to share those with us. We are recognizing that in these uncertain, uncharted times, we're in essence actually writing the playbook as we go. So there's nothing wrong with doubling back and updating what we're doing to improve it, because obviously at the end of the day, we want to make sure that all of our crews go home safely to their families. This too shall pass. And we want to make sure that at the end of this, that we are all together as one family again to recognize EMS of what it used to be like.